Welcome back to Hardball. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker faces one of the most high-stakes recall elections ever next month, primarily because he weakened public sector unions with his budget bill. Walker, the governor, now says he wasn't out to hurt unions, just fix the budget. But a new video of Walker talking to a wealthy donor makes you doubt his goodwill here towards unions.
Any chance we'll ever get to be a completely red state and work on these unions?
Oh, yeah.
And become a right to work?
Well, in fact, the big thing...
What can we do to help you?
Well, we're going to start in a couple of weeks with our budget adjustment bill. The first step is we're going to deal with collective bargaining for all public employee unions.
Right.
Because you divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. He's going to divide and conquer, break the unions by separating the public sector employee unions from the private sector unions. Harold Shateberger, what do we got here? We got hard evidence, I'd say, of bad will.
From the very beginning, this was never about budgets. This was never about deficit. This was never about good management. This was an effort to simply break the unions in Wisconsin, which is also coordinated with the same kind of effort in some 20 states that occurred in 2011. I find it interesting that this may be the only time that we've actually captured Scott Walker telling the truth.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most amazing. This is like Watergate here. Let me go to Mayor of Milwaukee, Mayor Tom Barrett, who is the guy running against Governor Walker. On June 5th, you must be thanking Santa Claus now, because you have got this guy caught red-handed all along. I don't even know. I don't know the guy. I thought he may have been an honest budget cutter. Now it turns out his number one goal in cutting the budget was to screw the unions, especially the public sector. He wants to divide and conquer. He's caught red-handed, Mr. Mayor. You got him.
Well, Chris, I was flabbergasted when I saw it, because I've been saying for weeks that his philosophy was divide and conquer. And this is the only thing that we've agreed on so far now, because I've been saying he was in favor of dividing and conquering. Now he's saying he's in favor of dividing and conquering. And it shows exactly what you said. This has never been about the budget. It's never been about the budget. It's how do you take away workers' rights. And he said in that video, you start with the public employees, then you go divide and conquer. So it doesn't stop with the private unions. It doesn't even stop with workers' rights. It's how he go after working people in this state. And the woman he made that statement to, 2 weeks later, she gave him $10,000. 3 weeks later, $25,000
Who is this woman he was making this commitment to bust the unions to, Mayor? Who is this woman?
She's a billionaire businesswoman in the state, and earlier this year, she gave what we believe is the largest contribution ever in the state of Wisconsin to a gubernatorial campaign. She gave him a cool $500,000.
Why does she hate unions? Why does she hate public employee unions? Why do they vote?
I have no idea. I've never met the woman. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is. But I'll tell you this. It goes to his truthfulness. Yeah, she's clearly right to work. But this goes directly to his truthfulness, because he's been saying all along, oh, no, I'm not going to go after them. I'm not going to go after them. But it's right out of Mitch Daniels' playbook in Indiana, because he said the same thing for years. I'm not going after the private unions. And that Thursday before the Super Bowl game, he signed the bill in Indiana. That's what I believe is going to happen here, because Scott Walker has never said, and we've pushed him for weeks, he has never said that he would veto a bill that would make Wisconsin a right to work state. And he won't say that, because then he can no longer be the rock star of the far right. And that's what he's
I love this stuff.
He's the rock star.
It reminds me back with the Reagan era, when David Stockman, the budget director, admitted that the whole purpose of changing the tax laws was to get the top rate down for the rich. Remember that?
Yes.
When he came out and said this whole thing was a Trojan horse. Same deal here. Your thoughts about this? Why do people hate public employees, and why do they want to break them? Why would somebody who doesn't even deal with public employees?
First of all, people do not hate public employees.
Why do these rich people?
The people
this rich person
depend on their firefighters, their cops, and their teachers.
I know.
But those at the very top, this all goes back to ALEC, Chris. Yeah. This goes back to a well-financed, disciplined, orchestrated 300 corporations providing the funding that developed the proposals that translated into Wisconsin, Ohio, and Florida. This has been an absolute fraud. And it's so cynical that what he really intended to do was to set private sector unions against the public sector. Let's carve the cops and the firefighters out, and maybe we can divide.
I got to say something to my friend, Mr. Straightberger. You know what, after 9/11, you know what people said was the highest prestigious job in the country, firefighter.
That's right.
It's so interesting. Let me ask, I got to say something in tribute to my colleague here, Mr. Mayor. I know you're in the actual race, but I have a colleague here who's probably levitating tonight, Ed Schultz. He must be several feet off the ground now to have caught Scott Walker, because this is what he's been saying on this network for months now. This guy is a union buster. That's what he's out to do. It's got nothing to do with saving the taxpayer money. Anyway, thank you, as always.
Thank you very much. We've got more on our website, too.
And Mayor Barrett, good luck in your race. I guess I can say that good luck. I can't endorse, but I can say good luck. When we return, let me finish with what Mitt Romney may